Hello, my name is Katherine Saltzman Li, and I'm glad to be able to have a chance to talk to you. I'm Associate Professor of Japanese Literature and Pre-Modern Performing Arts with affiliated appointments in Comparative Literature and Theater and Dance here at UCSB. My focus in research and teaching is on pre-modern Japan, especially the Edo period, which we also call Tokugawa period, and sometimes early modern. Is used by historians. Edo period refers to the name of the capital shogun city during the period where the Tokugawa shoguns lived. Why do I study this time period, and why do I recommend it to those of you who are students watching this video? It's fascinating in and of itself, and it also shows roots of modern Japan, and therefore relevant to an understanding of modern Japan. It was a highly urban society. It was a switch from agriculture to a kind of monetary-based economy, and it had a very vibrant consumer and popular culture. One of the roots relates to my main area of research, Kabuki theater, the popular live actor theater of the almost 300 years of this period. I try to understand what sustained it over such a long period as a major form of popular culture, and try to enter into what this theater form meant at the time, not just how it looks today to us. My PhD degree was in Japanese literature, with my research mostly in Japanese theater, particularly kabuki and no, a form of theater that began in the 14th century and is still performed today. No texts or works of poetry to be appreciated as such. Kabuki scripts have some lyrical sections, but overall they are dialogue-based and subject to change in performance. Primarily for reasons of protecting property, in a pre-copyright society, there were no published kabuki scripts until the modern period, and for a long time kabuki suffered in international scholarship from being seen as a non-literary-based theater form, since scholars, more so in the past, typically focus on plays. Plays were, and often still are, presented as a distant second in importance to the actors and their techniques in kabuki. I pursue research that considers the work of playwrights significant to what happens on stage. The production certainly can't happen without them, and focus on the nature of the collaborative process of creating and producing play material. To approach an understanding of a pre-modern theater form that didn't publish scripts or have any method of recording, we need to continue reading modern versions and watching recordings of plays that have continuous histories with Edo period contemporary records. Such records include chronologies, encyclopedia, artist memoirs, treatises, and woodblock prints. That is, written and visual materials. Woodblock prints can often give us important information, but of course also have to be used with caution, as productions that they advertise may or may not change. Aside from the plays, considering kabuki in its wider cultural context has also been my focus. Social values are reflected, political issues hinted at or ignored, interdependent with print culture, which boomed in this period, and it's also interdependent with other commercial ventures like restaurants or shops selling goods branded by famous actors, much of what we can recognize in our own lives. Plays renewed versions of shared stories, sometimes like movie franchises, say Star Wars or Marvel Comics-based film series, and sometimes enactments of current scandals within the conventions of what the theater allows. Again, much of what we can recognize in our own popular arts culture. My book, Creating Kabuki Plays, is organized around a study of the only still existing Edo period treatise fully devoted to the work of the playwright. This project led me to the study of other early modern professional texts and commercial materials related to kabuki. There are a remarkable number and range of such materials, representing a treasure trove of information, perspectives, and fun engagement with kabuki as it evolved. Otherwise, I've studied no-derived kabuki plays and also explored commercial no woodblock prints, which are of a very different nature from the kabuki prints, leading to a comparative study of two series of prints as well as museum exhibitions of theater prints. 2 conferences I organized are currently leading to co-edited volumes. One conference called War and Remembrance, Cultural Imprints of Japan's Samurai Age, and a second conference called Realisms in East Asian Performing Arts. In each case, my interest was to open up discussions beyond previous approaches. In the first case, to look at the long-range cultural importance of samurai and ideas about samurai through a broadly interdisciplinary approach. And in the second case, to examine theatrical realism in East Asian practices, taking the idea of realism beyond the typical Euro-American focus and expanding its currency temporally from the 17th century up to today. One other project, I'm also a director of something called JPARC, Japanese Performing Arts Research Consortium, an international group of scholars devoted to research and the development of online resources on Japanese performing arts. About my teaching and classes, I teach courses and seminars on Japanese performing arts, Japanese literature, Japanese folklore, and classical Japanese language. Occasionally, I've also taught special courses, such as a freshman seminar on the cultural roots of the Japanese horror film, or an honors seminar in digital humanities, a kind of case study in the performing arts related to the website project I just mentioned. Or an upcoming Teen Talk course with a theater director professor in our theater and dance department on the intersections of practice and research in the production of theater. In my classes, we ask, how does one develop research questions? I try to lead students to academic ways of thinking and writing and discussing. We might ask, what is an author's argument? What is the evidence for it? What methods has the author used to lay out the argument? How is the argument related to other arguments and scholarship? How does the text or video or print that we are studying relate to our class topics? In general, as theater historians, we study features and methods of past theatrical performing arts, as well as their cultural, social, and/or political embeddedness, and the impacts in their time of practice. An important focus in a course I teach on pre-modern Japanese theater is to consider what being creative means in an artistic form in which professional training, available only to those born into professional lineages, what it involves strict adherence to one's master's methods and to predetermined collective methods of preparing performance material and productions. Where a first acquaintance often focuses on the restrictions in such a system, further examination shows a world of possibilities within continuity. It's a question that, again, has broad relevance for creative practices today. I welcome you to join me in thinking about such issues, whether in class, at a conference, or any other way we might cross paths. Thank you very much.